are still leaning on the prayers of granddaddy and daddy, but we thank God for our men this morning. We thank God for the message this morning, leaving a legacy. Sometimes we want to leave our kids with a lot of things, but the best thing that we can leave them with is a spiritual inheritance this morning. There's something about a man of God that walketh in his integrity. I was looking at a study, and it was saying that when the women bring their children to praise and worship into the house of the Lord and the fathers don't come, it's like a 33% chance when they get older that they continue to have a relationship with Christ. And then it said when the fathers bring their children to the house of the Lord, whether the wife or mother comes at all, it was a 60% chance that they would have a relationship with Christ. And then I was wiping my eyes. I said, did I read that right? You mean to tell me when the men bring them to church, the percentage was higher than just the women? And I said, Lord, it's a major role that our fathers play in our children's life. And I said, it's one of the reasons, as you kept on going through the study, and they were giving the reasons, and the fathers are the leaders. And they're the head of the household. And they're to teach the children. And they're to discipline the children. They lead them in prayer. And they lead them in worship. And they're the providers. And they have all this responsibility. And sometimes when the responsibility gets too much, the fathers begin to get out of their position. But I'm here to tell you this morning that our fathers got to get back in their place. And one of the reasons why the enemy attacks our men so much, because he knows the significance that fathers have in their children's life. And if he can attack the men and take them out of the home, the chances with our children. And we know when we read in the Bible that we're to train them up in the way of the Lord, so it shall not depart from them. And if they're going to take our men out of the home, the chances for our children having a relationship with Christ is slim. But we know this morning that we're beating the odds. And we thank God for the just man. We're not talking about a man that is a man just because he say he a man. Being a man doesn't make you a just man. But so this morning, we're talking about a just man. When we're talking about a just man, he's not just talking the talk, but he's actually walking the walk. We're talking about a just man this morning. A just man, you're not seeing him just one way on Sunday, and then in the rest of the week, he's not what he claims to be. A just man is who God has called him to be. When we're talking about our fathers this morning, our fathers have so much of responsibility. Our men of God, they go through so many things. Anytime you have a problem at home, when a car breaks down, it's daddy's fault. When the children are sick, it's daddy's fault. When bills don't get paid, it's daddy's fault. And the men have so much of responsibility. Sometimes we think about our fathers and we just want to give them a tie or we want to give them a mug. But the main thing that we need to give them is respect this morning. It's something about knowing that our men are the king of the castle, but yet oftentimes in a home they treat it like the peasant. Sometimes father just want to hear you say, Dad, you're doing a good job. Dad, I appreciate everything that you're doing for me. It's an honor when fathers have sons. I remember when we had our baby boy, it wasn't a question about what his name was going to be. It wasn't a debate about what we was going to name him. Pastor said, he shall be called the third. It wasn't a question about, but do we want to break tradition? He said, he shall be the third. It was a legacy, and back then it's a time where it means something to the men when the sons carry their last name. A lot of the times, sons are the little mini versions of their father. Daddy is the superhero. And a lot of times, children look at daddy and think daddy don't get weak. And daddy don't get tired. And daddy don't get stressed. And daddy don't worry. And they look at daddy like he's invisible. And that he's made of stone. But often we don't see sometimes when daddy is crying. We don't see sometimes when daddy don't have nowhere to vent. We don't see sometimes when daddy don't know how we gonna come up with it. But it's a way that's gonna come out of no way. A lot of times we don't always see that while you sleep at night, daddy is on his knees praying. While you sleep at night, daddy is going around laying his hands on daddy's girls often end up with someone like their daddy. You know, it's an honor when you're walking your daughter down the aisle and you want to give her away. And I remember when my dad was walking me down the aisle and I started to get emotional. And he said, "You want to turn around?" I'm like, I don't think we want to turn around. And as we was getting close, the grip was a little tight. I said, "I think it's time for you to let me go." It's something about fathers. You're not really ready to let your daughters go. No matter who come along, nobody good enough for them because you want the best for your children. It's something about our fathers. And when we understand the roles that they play in our children's life, we understand how valued they are. We're talking about a just man. And the scripture says he walketh in his integrity. Integrity is not something that we're born with. Integrity is birthed in us when we make a right decision after right decision. Integrity is what you got when nobody else is looking. See, it's something about a man with integrity. He's not worried about another woman coming to knock on his door saying, I'm pregnant with your husband's child. It's something about a man of integrity. He is who he say he is. And because he is walking in integrity, his children shall be blessed. A lot of times we want to bless our children with a lot of other things. But it's something about leaving them with a spiritual inheritance. It's something about when they see daddy is loving mama right. It's something about when they see daddy is getting up and going to work. It's something about when they see what compassion look like. It's something about when they see daddy is beating the odds and daddy is an overcomer and daddy is leading praise and worship. It's something that our children see that is invaluable. We're leaving something to them. We're teaching them how to love themselves. We're teaching them what love looks like. It's something that the role that the fathers have on their children is invaluable. We was in a luncheon, and it was younger women. It was all kind of women. And the older woman, she asked the younger woman, she had to be about 18 at the time. And she said, "What are you looking for in a man?" And she said, "He got to be tall, and he got to be good looking, and he needs to be fine." And the lady said, "That's all you're looking for?" She said, "Yeah, that's it." And so the older women look at each other, and they said, "Well, let me tell you, if that's what you want, let me tell you what you're going to need. You're going to need to have a relationship with God. You're going to need to have hands and some bail money. Because if that's all you're looking for, and the man don't have character, and the man don't have integrity, you're looking for the wrong thing this morning." It's something about knowing a man of God by his character. It's something about knowing the men are in a proper place. I have a demonstration. Sometimes we hear the words, but it's good when we see the demonstration going forth, how it looks like when God moves in the home. I'm going to call our newly married couple up at this moment. Marsha and Jax, come on to the front. And I want y'all to see a demonstration of how God blesses us when we do the right thing. It's a blessing when you can do the right thing. Marsha and Jax, come on over this way and this way. You're right here. And Jax is right here. And the deacon, come on up to the front. We got to have somebody that's recognizing as God this morning. And this is the blessing that God is giving them. Come on up in front of them. Lock. All three, hold hands. And see, when it's a triangle, when God is the head, and you have the husband and the wife, and you see how all fingers are locked. You see how the devil can't get in. And God is sending the blessing. And because the husband is in his proper position, and the wife is in her proper position, the blessing is flowing to each other. And as he blesses God, God is blessing him. And because he is blessing God, that the wife is blessed. And the wife in return is blessing God. And this is flowing, and this is how it's meant to flow. But as we know, sometimes the flow gets messed up because the enemy likes to come in. And when the husband let go, when the husband gets out of his position, because sin came in and other things that happened, now we have an open space. And the blessings weren't flowing like it's supposed to flow. Now take another step back. The husband then took another step back, and he didn't got out of his position. But I want you to notice something. The woman's hands are still attached to the Lord this morning. Even though he's stronger and stronger. So I want the men to know this morning, not all women are trying to walk in your role. Some of them are in your role because you got out of position. Some of us women had no choice but to be strong because you got out of your position. So guess what? Come on over a little bit. Now the order then got messed up around here. She's in front of him. And that's not what God called her to be. He's supposed to be the head of the household. He is still the leader. But because she stayed where she was and she was getting stronger, now mama is saying, baby, I'm ready you to come on and worship with me. When that was daddy's responsibility. But I want the women to know something. It's something about a praying wife this morning. Look at her hand. It's still connected to God. But God gave you two hands. One is connected to God. But this hand right here, baby, it got to go back to your husband. It's time to tell your husband to get back in his spot. See, sometimes as women, we're too comfortable when we got out of our spot. A praying woman that knows her position, she can tell her husband, I know that you done backslid, and I know that you done sinned, but I believe you getting back in position. You are going to be everything that God had called you to be. God didn't design me to do your role. But now that I'm in my spot, because I'm still praying for you, because I'm still believing God to work things out, the husband is back in his position just because of the prayers of a righteous woman. And now the order. Can I tell you something about the order? Because see, it's something about disorder. And disorder, dysfunction comes in. Disorder causes chaos. Disorder causes confused children. Disorder causes the devil working around in your home. But it's something about order this morning. It produces unity. It produces togetherness. The order produces blessing. The husband may get out of his spot, but I didn't give up on my job. I might have to have backslid, but because I married a praying woman, somebody need to understand that, fathers. You're not in this battle alone because God gave you a praying woman. It's time to get back in your spot. Maybe it's time to stop belittling our men. Some men got it harder than others. We're talking about all races and all age. It's not the black men getting shot at. It's not the black men getting arrested for no cause. Just because they got one felony on their record, they can't get a job. The world didn't beat them up enough. But when I come home, I should be treated like a king. When I come home, I don't need you to talk about everything that I'm getting wrong. I need you to instill some faith in me. I need you to instill some word in me. When we see a demonstration, we can begin to get an idea of how it flows. I want the men and the fathers to understand something this morning. Sometimes it's been hard for you to be a father due to situations going on with the mother. Sometimes it's been hard for you to be a father because you never had the example of what a father is. But there is a father that you have this morning. And you can call on King Jesus. It's something about the word that'll help you be a better daddy. It's something about the word that he'll pick you up and put you back together again. I want the men to understand it's time to stop blaming granddaddy for what's going on in your life. It's time for you to stop blaming daddy for everything that you saw. It's time for you to start calling on daddy this morning. And his name is King Jesus. We're talking about leaving a legacy. I want to mention that. Be encouraged this morning. anointed. He is blessed. He is loved. He is respected. He is cherished. He is the head. He is the leader. He's not the tail. He is what God has called him to be. He is chosen. He is anointed. He may have some issues. Daddy not going to be perfect. But guess what? Mama not perfect neither. And when you find somebody and y'all can do it together, see, sometimes you got to do it by yourself. But when you find someone and y'all can do it together, the blessings keep on flowing because you're doing it the way that God has called him to do. We want to leave a lot of things. But we're talking about leaving a legacy. We're talking about you can leave money and that's going to get divided. You can leave mementos and that's probably going to end up in the trash. You can leave property and that's probably going to get sold. But when you leave a legacy of a spiritual heritage, it's going to outlive you. And not only are your children going to be blessed, but your grandchildren are going to be blessed. Men of God, let's leave a legacy that our children can be proud of. Happy Father's Day.